All right, welcome back to Everybody's Got a Price with Joshua Nelson, the president, and Jeff Dye, the king of operations. Higher, definitely higher. Man, it's been a minute. Sorry, you guys. When things get busy, you know, this is tough. And also, not just things busy for me or for you. Somehow this studio is so busy. Somehow the studio that we stumbled upon is so busy that I go, can you do 9 a.m.?
I literally thought you were joking.
9 a.m. This is the earliest any podcast has ever been recorded.
This is right. This is when I wake up, dude. So this is great for me.
Yeah,
I love being up this early.
Wild, dude.
It's fantastic.
There was a moment when I was driving out here to the valley, and I was like, you know, I did ask to be on this, and he told me, he's like, yeah, but it's got to be 9 a.m. on Monday. I was like, was he just trying to get me to be like, yeah, I don't need to be on it that
No way, dude. I wouldn't have
I think this was, I was like, maybe this is just like the nice way of saying no.
That's the test.
Yeah.
And then I said yes, and Jeff was like, fuck!
Yeah, no,
now we have to do it at 9.
No, never in a million years. Next time you're on this, it'll be like, you know, normal, like noon or like 1 or something. But we're happy to have you. Let's introduce our guest.
Yes,
he is one very, very funny. The first time I met you was right when I moved to Los Angeles. New Faces, right?
Montreal,
yeah. Montreal, 2008. We're in the same class of New Faces at Montreal, but very, very funny comedian. I like to give you credit as a fearless comedian. Someone said Jewish, and I was like, well, why would that be a thing? That's not a way to describe. I don't think that'd be a way.
He's either fearless or Jewish. I can't decide.
I think when I think of you, I think of like a fearless comedian with like a great, like a very capturable voice. You hear your voice, you know exactly who is performing or whatever. The very funny Mo Mandel, everyone. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
How you feeling?
I feel good. I mean, for being 9 a.m. on a podcast, I feel good.
That part.
I'm pretty sure my wife thinks I'm cheating on her.
At 9 a.m.
Yeah,
That's a weird
she's
cheat.
like, where are you going? I'm like, I did a comedy podcast. She's like, okay, get a better excuse.
You're newly married, right? Like,
not that new, about 4 years.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, I
4
thought it
years.
was newer than that.
It feels new.
Yeah.
That's how.
Well, that's
much
good.
The spice is a lot.
That means you're in love.
It feels like we've been married for 700 years. We've got one kid and one kid on the way, so I feel like
That's what the new things were.
Yeah, I feel like that systematically makes your marriage feel like like the more diapers you're discussing.
Oh my God.
You're like, okay, now we've been married for another 10 years, and then
You're always
20 years.
tired.
Yeah.
That's how you're in. That's when you got kids. Now you're in.
Right. Louis has that great joke where he's like, when I got married, I thought I can't leave, and then I had kids, and I was like, I could have left.
That's great. I've never heard that.
Yeah.
Jerry's always yammering on about how like unless you have kids, it's not real.
I definitely think that's true, and it's like I do this bit now where my wife left me alone with our daughter for like 10 days, and I was like, oh my God, being a single parent is hell.
Yeah,
for
It
sure.
is so bad.
Except that week off you get, you know, the whole week off. That's pretty nice.
Yes, when like if they're doing the share the kid, yes, that must be nice. But just like,
because you can power through 7 days if you know you get 7 days without anything.
yeah, but can you power through 7 days without ending up on the news?
I couldn't.
No, you could not. I was just like, dude, now I understand why people stay in, like, I mean, my marriage is great. I'm not saying it's a bad marriage, but I understand why people would stay in a bad marriage because they're like, I don't know if I want to do this.
I don't want to do this.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Like if you have like 3 kids or 2 kids and you're like, dude, 5 days with just these kids and I'm not supposed to drown them.
But they're pretty young. It might be different when they're a little older, you know?
Oh, is that your impression of teenagers?
Yeah, bro.
Is that how you...
They're a little more independent, you know?
They're much easier to be around when
No
they're 13
diapers.
and
No
shit.
diapers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Listen to the guy who knows nothing about kids.
Yeah, I don't know what I limped in for that for no reason.
Well, you know, when they start walking at 7.
Just trying to be
they're
optimistic, yeah.
Oh, my nephew's 7. He's a shithead now, dude.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, so I don't think it gets easier.
Which one's
for a
your
long
favorite
time.
right now?
Because
it always changes. That's my theory. People go, oh, I'm a parent. I don't have favorites. I love them all equally. I hear you, but really it's like I think it goes through waves. Like right now, this one's my favorite, and then like last month, that one was my favorite. You know,
For
like,
sure.
What's currently right now?
the 7-year-old's still my favorite, but he's doing this thing now where he like spells bad words.
Oh, nice.
And but he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And, like he's like, F-U-C-K-U. And I'm like, oh, really?
That's
dude?
the same thing.
You
Yeah.
just said fuck me.
Yeah.
Dude,
So like, but
they're
he's like
fast
getting
with
away
that.
with it. He knows it. Like,
How's he get away with it?
Well, because he's not saying the word.
I know, but his parents got to be smarter than that.
Yeah, I don't know what they do about it.
They're like, we don't want him to cuss, but we do want him to spell.
Yeah,
So we're kind of
yeah.
divided on.
I don't know. He's like kind of secretly doing it. I don't know if they know.
Oh, okay.
So, but I was like, that counts still.
Yeah, that
So-
counts for sure.
But yeah, he's a little fucking troublemaker.
That's
so
hilarious.
They learn what like they love to say it to see what your reaction
Yeah.
will something bad will be. Like I was with my my friend the other day. His little daughter is like 5 tournament. She goes, "You're trash. Do you know that? You're trash." I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Like lucky guess.
Mo
kid.
Mandel doesn't.
Still.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there's
Mo Mandel doesn't take that from women.
yeah, dude. Jesus.
Lucky
call me
guess.
trash.
I
That's
didn't
great.
even know women under 5 would demean me.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
then you're like,
unbelievable.
what are you telling him to your wife? You're like, what are you telling our kids? You know?
Trash.
You're trash. You know that? Like,
What was she getting at? Or has she just been calling everyone trash? Or like,
no,
what
this is
was-
not my kid.
Oh,
I know, but
I
that's what
thought
I'm
it was-
If
saying.
my kid said you're trash and she's not even 2 yet, I'd be like kind of proud of her.
Oh,
for having
okay.
Yeah,
That's what I thought
those
was your
kind of
kid.
language.
Okay.
No, but I'm saying, like, where did she get that from? Was she
Apparently, her father is and mother are saying I'm trash when I'm not around. That's the only thing I can imagine.
Oh, that's really terrible. I just was wondering because I know sometimes, like at least when I was a little kid and my nieces and nephews, they'll attach to a word, you know. So
Yeah.
then they just kind of go around saying that word to everybody. Like I remember being like, "Oh, that's suspicious. Oh, he's suspicious," and they're like, "Jeff, stop calling things suspicious." Like I just like wanted to use it, so maybe those trash was there.
Yeah, she must have heard somebody say it. But it's funny because like you see kids will just like because these people whose daughter I'm talking about, they're very liberal and they're like they're definitely not like saying any kind of like. Well, I'll give you an example. So we're over there for her birthday, and her father has like a little like braid in his hair that he picked up.
He's a
off
Jedi.
off the kids' table. He put a little braid in his hair, and she goes, "Braids are for girls. Get that out of your hair. That's not for boys." I'm like, "There's no way her parents are talking like that."
Right.
around here,
Where'd
so
she pick
where
that up?
Did you
Yeah.
learn that? Like,
Yeah.
Or she just has a firmer grasp on biology than our entire country has.
she starts lecturing him like, "This is your chromosomes."
It's an XY and biological markers are relevant. You're like, this girl's a genius.
I think kids learn more at school just from their other friends than they learn at the house anytime.
Yeah.
Like anything they learn bad is at school.
Yeah.
And then you just got to figure
Well, if
out.
you think about it, like your friends are who you would like to be.
Yeah.
Your parents are who you like embarrassed of. So it's
Yep.
like it doesn't matter what your parents tell you. They'd be like, Jesus is king, and you're like, I'm out of this. I don't want to like do church stuff. That's my parents. But if your friend said it, you'd be like, oh, I learned that Jesus is king. Like
Yeah.
you would just say it because your friends are.
Yeah, there's like a biological need to rebel a little bit for sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, and if you say fuck around your friends, they're all laughing and dying. Like they're the cool, funny kid.
Right.
But if you sit around your parents, you get your ass beat.
Yeah,
So-
nobody wants to be
It's
like
so
their
lame
parents.
too. The older you get, the more you like. I don't know. You see like young people doing things that are cool, and you're like, this is so
I know.
pathetic. Like you're so not cool. Like you're just having like you see kids in like a Descendants t-shirt. You're like 3 generations
I know.
removed from whatever
Yeah.
this band is at this point. You know?
You're like, oh, you're a big Descendants fan?
Oh,
really?
Because your
So
grandfather
weird.
rebelled by wearing that shirt.
Yeah,
so.
black guy in a Pink Floyd shirt who's 22. You're going, what is happening? I think about that all the time. I say it in my act every night. I'm like, I'm 41 and I'm already the comedian that's like, in my day.
Yeah.
Like it's way too early for me to be the, shitting on young people comic.
But it happens so fast. Like you go into these, I feel like you're young and you think you're cool. Then you get to a point where you're like not young and you wish you were cool and young and knew the
Yeah.
young. And now I'm at the point where I'm like, I hate the young
Yeah.
stuff and they're not cool.
Right.
Yes.
They're fucking losers.
Right.
And I'm not into it and I don't like it and I don't even
Yeah.
want to know it.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, you're proud to go. I don't like SoundCloud rap or like I'll
right.
just openly go. I think hip hop sucks, and people are like, "Whoa, dude!" And you're like, "I'm not. I think it sucks. Like,
I think it's
don't
bad,
like
and I think it's sending the wrong message. Beyond it sucks, I think it's bad for our country.
yeah, 100%.
I went out with this girl recently. She was in her 20s, and she kept using the word demure.
Oh yeah, where did this start?
That's a TikTok
So
thing,
it's
right?
a TikTok
Yeah.
thing, and she used it like 9 times. And I
Yeah.
finally go, I don't know what the fuck you're saying.
Right.
And then that's when it hit me. I go, I'm not supposed to know
Right.
all the stuff. Like I was like, I can't ever
I hung
go
out
out
with
with
a girl
her again.
recently who actually liked. She was very cool, but she kept using young person terms, and she was like 36 or like
No,
37.
no.
Oh, that guy waiter's really sus, huh?
Yeah,
Aren't you in menopause right now?
that's the thing. Here's the thing. I think she's great, and I think she's
But
she's definitely age appropriate for me, you know. But then she said fire, slaps, sus. Like she was saying,
she slaps.
and I was like, but like it made her
Like no cap, Jeff. But she's like, what?
And I was going to my mind. I was like, but she's not young. It's
Trying
not like I'm
to
dating
be cool,
her.
dude.
My wife she's big on, she's really into Twitter. She has like a big Twitter following. She likes to be on there. And she is throwing in a few things lately. I'm like, easy hashtag. All right. Are you like on Friendster? Like,
Does she like acknowledge it? Like, oh yeah, I am doing that.
She's not like trying to look cool in her
No, but when-
sweatpants while cleaning up after our toddler. I just think she's just like,
It's just absorbing
she's
it.
like, this is how you talk now.
Yeah.
You talk, you
Right.
say, well, you know.
That's so
take
funny.
it easy.
The opposite is happening. That's how we're getting,
I
where we
know.
like notice it. You're like, don't do that. You
Well, the
can't.
new words sound lame for whatever
Well,
reason.
they're all just shorter than everything. You're like, you could say the whole word. It's fine.
I just don't know. Like I think I used the terms from when I was, that age. I don't know, like how to explain it. Rad or rules or I don't know. Like
Do
we
you
had
still
our
use
own.
rad?
I'm not learning any new slang.
I
We've
feel
got
like
enough slang.
We've got enough slang for sure. I feel like rad is probably vintage now. Like if you brought it back, it's kind of ironic. You could probably use like tubular or something like that.
I don't know if you can use
You don't think you
tubular.
can use
Well,
I'm gonna
actually-
try it tonight. I'm gonna try that shit
Tubular.
tonight.
That was tubular.
Yeah.
It's a Ninja Turtle
I'm
slang.
curious.
Yeah.
I bet you nobody responds to tubular.
Cowabunga,
Really.
am I right? Nothing? Eat my shorts?
My shorts.
Cowabunga.
I feel like eat my shorts. Only Bart Simpson said.
Are you-
No one ever said
Right,
that.
it never
other than-
transcended,
No,
yeah.
he didn't come from anything. It didn't lead to
Eat
anything.
my shorts.
You just did Ninja Turtles, Bart Simpson, all.
Well, I was just thinking about it. It's
From
like
the
maybe I don't use the word rad, but like I'm trying to think like all the slang that I might be using in my day to day was from when I was that age, and I didn't learn any. I didn't recruit any new slang.
What about music?
What about?
Have you? Because Chris Rock has this point where he's like, the only music you like really is what you were listening when you started getting laid for the first time. And I feel like I go on my Spotify, I'm like, Modest Mouse, like all the old shit.
Well, you're
But
talking
that's
to the
all-
right guy.
I have
That's
not.
good.
I have
You're
not
talking-
evolved from
Mo,
2001.
you're-
That's you.
You asked the right guy.
Okay.
Yeah, dude. It is Goo Goo Dolls, Third Eye Blind,
yeah,
Matchbox 20.
Oh, dude, I got a great Third Eye Blind story.
Oh, I love it.
Is that Rob Thomas?
No, that's Matchbox 20.
Okay, I was bartending in San Francisco, and I'm wearing this Santa Barbara Bowl T-shirt because when I was in college, I went to Santa Barbara and I wanted to go see Radiohead in concert, but I couldn't afford a ticket, so I got a job as security.
That's a good idea.
and then just ditched.
Yeah, it's great.
But they caught me because I was stupid. I put my shirt in my back pocket, and they saw
Dang
me in the
it.
front row. They're like, "Okay, you're out here." So anyway, I'm wearing that.
That's such a genius idea.
Great idea.
It was a genius idea, and I don't know why I didn't just ditch the shirt. That
Yeah.
was just, I guess I liked
Bring a
the shirt.
hat.
Yeah. It was. So anyway, so Rob Thomas comes in. He sees the thing, the shirt I'm wearing as a bartender in San Francisco. And I'm just,
Did you know it was Rob Thomas?
No,
Okay.
not at all. And that's part of. I think I insulted him. He goes, he's like, yeah, my band used to play there, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Wow, who's your band? He's like, Bachelor Rotation. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember you guys.
Yeah, big band. Yeah, it's huge.
And then I go, I remember you guys. I can tell. I was like, cool.
I
Yeah,
remember
I know.
you. That's
I
insulting
didn't
too.
mean to be insulting, but I literally couldn't give a fuck about that band then.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
never. You know.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm
That's
like, do you
funny.
want to go to? I'm doing a show, The Punch. I think I was opening for Patrice O'Neal or something. I'm
Yeah.
like, I get your ticket. He goes, I think I can afford a ticket. I was like, okay.
He was so talented too. Rob Thomas. I'm not sure, and it's not worth looking up, I guess. But I think he was like homeless or something, and then they like found him, and he was like so talented. He was like playing outside somewhere, and they like found him. But that's hilarious.
He's still alive, right?
Yeah, he's still alive.
Okay.
So I went to dinner last
don't
week.
know.
He's probably like 50.
I don't know.
He's not
Yeah,
even
but all
like-
these rock stars, they go early, man. I don't know, man. How big of a story was.
I was at dinner with some comedians last week, and one of the guys that was at the table I had never met till that night, and they were asking, comics are like cool now. It's the weirdest world.
It is strange.
Yeah, like I could just DM MLB players and they're like, holy shit, dude, I love your comedy. I'm like, this is my dream come true. But so anyways, we're at this table and the musicians were asking us questions like, oh, is there any bit that you just like hate doing because you've done it so many times? And I was like, that's such a musician question because they have to play their hits over and over for decades sometimes. And so then, naturally we asked the question back, like, why do you ask? Like, what's a song? And the one guy was from Shinedown. Do you know that band?
No.
And then the other guy, who I didn't know until that night, was in Nickelback.
Dude.
And so I was like...
he was Chad, or what's his name?
No, it's his brother, Mike.
Oh, because one time I got to hang out with him while doing a gig, and he was actually like so cool. And,
This
like,
guy was one
Chad-
of my favorite people. He's like a new friend now.
Yeah, and I hate that band.
Oh, you
So
hate
it's
it? I
weird-
like the band.
Do you?
Yeah. Well,
Oh.
like I said, I'm stuck in the I'm Creed. I still listen to Creed.
You listened to Creed?
I liked Creed. Yeah, well, I think it's kind of what you were referencing earlier, where it's a moment in my life where had all this teen angst.
Yeah.
And I was a very like, someday I'll show Dad, and the girls at my school will see that I'm still trapped in that kind of like era.
Yeah.
And Creed was perfect for that.
Right.
It also had spiritual insinuations. I'm like a Christian kid, so I was like, yeah, take me higher.
I should go higher. I really should go higher.
So yeah, I love all that stuff, but I loved Creed, and then like to find out that this guy was in Nickelback was like pretty cool,
dude. Because one time I was doing the remember the Playboy Comedy Club at the Palms?
I do remember that. Yeah,
I was co-headlining that with Eliza Schlesinger, and she was dating this like hockey player who was from Canada, and he was friends with Nickelback.
Oh, cool.
So we went and met them at some casino, and it was like I was like, oh, this is how rock stars go broke. I mean, that guy's so rich, it doesn't work, but there was like 40 people at the table, and he picked up the check for everybody. And then we all went to a club, and he got like bottle service for everybody.
What a nice move!
So nice.
Yeah.
Like that's why I was like, I should probably give your music another chance.
Yeah, it's a good guy.
He just paid $600 for me to drink.
It is weird how everybody just hates them too, Nickelback.
Yeah, for
no
reason.
Yeah.
Just for no reason. They just got a ban of hate.
So it's funny you bring that up because I got to hang out with Carrot Top, and I'm like, we're like good friends now. Like I'm obsessed with him. I think he's. So, the two parts to that story. During Skankfest, I went over and hung out with Scott all day. Went to a show, hung out with him afterwards. And I was like, dude, Carrot Top is good. It was like 90 minutes of like not missing. The show was one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life.
Everybody has told me that. Who's ever seen it?
It was autobiographical. Yeah. It was a lot of props. It was political. It was edgy. There was topical stuff. Like he was doing like a whole thing on P. Diddy. Like I was like, this is new. Like everything. He did like 3 jokes that were hack. And I was like, all right, I was waiting for it. I was waiting for something I could criticize. And then I started thinking about it. I was like, maybe they aren't even hack. Maybe he came up with these.
Right. That's a
and
good
he's just been doing it so long.
Yeah.
Because there were jokes about the Luxor. And he's had the residency at the Luxor.
He was at like the opening night of the
Yeah.
Luxor.
So when I heard that joke, I was like, that's probably just something he's done so long.
Right.
You know, when Pryor does a joke and you're like, hack, but you're like, it's not, Pryor wrote that joke, and then all these other comics just ripped him off.
Right.
So afterwards, I was like, you could tell that he's aware of how much people have like talked shit about him and stuff.
Oh, that sucks.
And so I was trying to explain to him that the world isn't creative. Like, people aren't creative. They hear a thing. Oh, I heard Henry Winkler's the nicest person in showbiz. You're like, yes, he's very nice, but he's no nicer than like Larry Miller or Heath Ledger or any of these other like people. We've just heard other people go, he's the nicest, and now it becomes this hacky thing you say. Same with Carrot Top. It just became this thing you reference as like, but it's not real.
Also, I feel like because it's different, it's easier to shit on. You know what I mean? Like it's like, it's not like people are like, oh, that's not what you would do in like the Comedy Store late night room. It's
right.
Like, yeah, but if you just did what you would do in the late room, you're probably not going to be that successful. Like
100%.
He took a chance of stepping outside the thing.
And it's great.
Yeah, dude.
But we didn't used to do that. Weird Al was like a legend. We didn't
Right.
go, oh, Weird Al, like
Right.
with the sticky hats and the costumes and the music. Like Taylor Swift, right? They always go, oh, she just writes about her ex-boyfriends. What musician doesn't write about their exes? Like, name any musician that's not right. The Beatles are writing about breakups.
Well, that's also interesting too. Like, okay, Carrot Top's huge because he did something different. Taylor Swift, I mean, I'm by no means a fan, and I'm not a fan. It's not for me. How did she transcend everybody else? Because it doesn't seem like she does anything that
is different.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's
Maybe
just
that's her
that much more
superpower. Is that
successful?
like she's average like us.
I don't know. It's fucking wild.
But what the second part of the Carrot Top thing was when I came back to Skankfest. People were like, where were you on Saturday? I said, I was hanging out with Scott Thompson, Carrot Top, great show. And they're like, Carrot Top? And I was like, first of all, because now I'm like, you know, anytime I feel passionate about something.
Now you're a Carrot Top head.
Yeah.
Well, you're like still wearing the merch.
I'm the best consumer. Dude, if you have a product, like, and I like it, I don't shut the fuck up about it. And I, like, tell everyone I'm the best consumer. And so, like, now I'm, like, Mr. Carrot Top, you know? And I was like, just so you know, he's better than almost every comic at this festival. Yeah. Quit defending all these shitty female comics and podcasters who can barely do 10 minutes at this festival. Carrot Top's infinitely better than all of them, and you guys are gonna talk shit about it. Like,
it's like when Dane Cook was like at his like highest, and every comic was talking shit when I was still like an opener or whatever, and everybody would talk shit. I'm like, okay, you can say whatever you want. He's way better than we are.
Yeah, it was insane.
Not
to
even
me.
close. Right?
Well, like the people that were like talking trash about him, I was like, dude, you wouldn't even be able to hold his Not to mention he's way more humble than you.
You wouldn't be able to
and
hold his
sweet.
prop that he tells a pun about.
Yeah. Also, normal people don't hate him. It's just the comics and those people that hate
hack.
him.
Yeah,
and it's a little bit of jealousy, and it's a little bit, what he does is lame because you don't do it. So that's the difference. Like, the regular people are buying his tickets, and they think he's great.
Dude, I couldn't believe how good it was.
Do you guys feel like as comedians, like, when did you... I feel like when we all start out, your goal is to make other comedians laugh because that's who's at the open mics. And then at a certain point, you have to realize, like, those are not the people I need to try to make laugh.
Yeah, I don't want to be Andy Kindler.
Yeah, those people are not who are gonna come help me have a career. Do you remember, like, when you made that realization that you're like, you got to stop playing to these people that are your peers and, like, try to find a real audience?
Yeah, or the second I came to LA. Because in Seattle, I was just so different than all of them that all I wanted was their acceptance.
Yeah.
All I wanted. And then the second I left, I go, oh, that wasn't even real.
Right.
That was like a small shitty...
It was like trying to be cool in high school.
Yeah, it's
you're
like a
why
small,
did I care what that guy
bubble.
thought?
Like, yeah, I don't give a shit about that. And they're all losers. All those Seattle comics that were mean to me suck. They never left anything. They're like, so I was like, why was I trying so hard to make these people that were mean to me? When was yours? Did you have that moment?
I still feel like I vacillate on it. You know, like, I feel like there's like it's ingrained in me. Like, I feel like my sense of humor is naturally more like what comedians laugh at. Like, I like.
Well, you have a great reputation in our business. So
that's nice to hear. I mean, I don't know if that's true or not, but if that's what you feel, that's nice.
Sure.
Because I actually feel like sometimes I'm like, dude, if I just like left stand up, would everybody like, what? Oh yeah. No. Like, would anyone notice? Like, you feel like you've been doing something for so long, but like, have you really made an impact?
That's a headliner problem, is what that is. Because if you stuck around and you weren't headlining, and you're at all these things, then you go, oh, I'm really making progress. I'm networking. Oh, look what I did. But like the second you become a headliner, you don't see other comics.
No, I know. That's so weird. And you don't
so
see
now
the
you
ones
start
who
to
come
think,
up, like
you start to think, oh, I'm like not a part of this anymore. It's like, but you are. Yeah,
Right.
100%.
It's like Leno like used to talk about, like, I heard him in an interview, your goal is to not be at the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
Like, you want to get so big that you're not.
Yeah,
there,
100%. Yeah.
But I don't know.
But also, as a headliner, as for somebody that books too, when you guys are headlining around the country, you just think, oh, there's somewhere else around the country. So you don't think like, oh, we got to get him on the show.
Sure.
So like that's where you kind of come out of sight because you're like, oh, he's probably in Connecticut right now doing whatever he's doing,
Where I know that I'm like doing well with my peers is like a festival, or if I'm like, this sounds so weird too. I've never tried to articulate this. The second I let it go is when it worked. When I was like, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm just in a mood now, and I'm just gonna like give up on this chasing this ghost or dragon. And then that's when people would like be like, dude, you've been crushing it lately, or hey, like, what's up? Like, I saw Joe List at Skankfest. I haven't seen him forever. I couldn't get Joe List to talk to me to save my fucking life when I was in New York. And then he saw me at Skankfest. He's like, holy shit, Jeff Dye's here. And I was like,
you think social
like
media
that meant so much to me? I was like, holy shit. Like, I mean, like, I think I saw you the other day at like something, and I was like, newly sober and rattled. I'm in my own zone. I really could give a fuck about anyone, especially at that point. I'm like, I don't care. And so you're like, all right, well, good to see you too. And I was like, the fact that Mo Mandel even cares that I am saying hello to him meant a lot to me. I was like, yeah.
Well, me and you have always had like we've had like an interesting relationship. Wouldn't you say so?
I don't think so.
No?
Or maybe
not.
Yeah,
maybe it was only interesting to me. It's like, I didn't even know we had one.
Yeah. No, I've just always thought fondly of it.
No. But we had like, I feel like we'd get close, or we'd like hang out after like New Face, and I wouldn't see you for a while, and I'd see you again, and I was like, I'd text a little bit, but I don't know. It's like, I feel like that with a lot of people in common. Like I'm friends with them.
Yeah. But you don't
but
know
I haven't seen them in 3 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's...
Well, like I've only had like bad relationships with like a couple comedians, and they're both named Eliza.
Wait, who's the second? Who's the other?
Liza Traeger and then Eliza Schlesinger.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those are like the only two people where I like, and I'm going, yeah, it sucks. I don't like them, and they definitely don't like me. But
so did my Nickelback story trigger you?
No, not at all. Okay. What it was,
it
something
was funny you brought that up though. I was laughing.
Yeah, well, she's just so mean to me. You know what's great about like I'm still like such a like young boy that like if my worst nemesis said, "Hey man, do you want to be friends?" I'd be like, "That'd be great. Can we just be friends?" Like that's how quickly it could be over.
No, dude, I hate that about myself.
Yeah,
I hate that high school wanting to be popular, insecurity.
Yeah,
I hate that it still comes up.
I just don't like conflict.
I know. It's just I hate that I want to be liked by people that, like you're saying, don't like me.
Yeah.
I hate that I'm not like if someone's an asshole to me. I wish I was just like,
okay,
fuck you. I will never talk to you again. I'll see you at the comedy store. I won't even look at you. I hate that there's still part of me like, maybe they'll like me this time. Like, I don't know.
But it's better. I think it's better to live that way because you're letting go of that venom. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but then you're also
right now there's some
that
venom in here against her. And so, like, if I could just be cool with her, I know that I could let that venom go. And I'm like, all right, good. It's out. There's no poison in there.
Right. Well, because it means, I guess it's like they say, like, if you care one way or the other, you still care.
Yeah.
If you really didn't care about her, you just have
It'd be free. Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel about it. But you did mention a thing earlier that I want to talk about before we get into the game here. You said you opened for Patrice O'Neal. How cool is that?
Dude, that was fucking amazing.
It's one of my favorites.
Dude, I got into comedy off that Tough Crowd thing.
We all did.
It's the best. I got to do Jim Norton's podcast last week, and I was like, this is so full circle. Because watching you and, like, Rich Voss and Patrice on Colin Quinn's show, I was like, this is it's just funny to watch all those dysfunctional fucking
I would love to see.
That's who I want to be.
I would love to see Patrice, Greg Giraldo, Colin Quinn in that exact format talking about Jim Norton's current situation. I would love to see how Jim Norton would take that cast.
I would be curious. I mean, like, it's funny, though, because, okay, so Patrice, let me tell you, he said something that I thought was, like, two things that were just so fucking funny. He would go on stage and talk about, like, pissing on women or getting peed on. And he, like, the first night bombed. Utter silence.
Really?
Every night after that, standing ovation.
Really?
And as far as I could see, he did the exact same thing. I don't know why it went over the other way. So anyways, he's like doing this whole peeing thing, and I say to him one night, I'm like, so that's that joke, right? You don't really do that.
He don't have jokes. He only knows how to be Patrice.
Yeah, and he's so, like, narcissistically from his own perspective. He's like, oh, how old are you? I was like, I don't know, like 29. He's like, when you get into your 30s, you get into peeing.
That's hilarious.
Which I don't know about you. That's not how it turned out for me.
Well, the good thing about one of the brilliant things about Patrice O'Neal, if you've never heard of him, look him up, is that he only knew how to be Patrice. Yeah. So that's why that story is great. Like, I remember one time I'm going through it with a girl, and she came to New York City basically just to be closer, to give me shit, you know, like we were going through a thing, and she flew to New York. She's at, like, so I'm stressed out, and I go to the Comedy Cellar, and he's like, what's wrong with you, young blood? And I was like, I'm just going through the thing with my girl. He's like, what is it? And I was like, it's like a long story. And so I tried to explain it, like, quickly. And he goes, here's what you do, man. I see you. These girls, they look at you. You know, you gotta, you know, you do well with the ladies. I was like, oh, thanks. He's like, you find some bitch in here, and you bring her back to your place tonight. She's going to see you with, like, another chick. And I go, this is terrible advice. Like, it was literally, that might work for him. Like he only knows how to be his own universe. Right. Like, that's the worst fucking, she'll murder me and that girl. Like, there's just no, you
cheat on her right in front of her.
It's like when people say, well, if you go to jail, beat up the first guy, you're like, I couldn't win a fight in junior high. I'm not fighting anybody.
Get my ass beat by the first guy.
Yeah, I'd say, do you want me to do some chores for you? I'll be your bitch.
I want to leave some ambiguity about whether I'm a pussy.
Yeah. I'm negotiating, like, do I just want this guy to rape me or everyone to rape me? Like, that's the...
And then, so anyway, at that time, my closing bit was this bit that I did on Comedy Central as my closer. And then Ricky Gervais probably coincidentally did it in his newest special. I mean, verbatim. Yeah. But... I'm sure he did not see me at the Comedy Store. I'm sure he just, you know, whatever.
Well, maybe one of his writers did. That
Who
happens
knows?
All the time.
But it's so racist that I didn't want to call him out on Twitter because
that's my racist.
I thought people were like, okay, buddy.
I was doing that racist.
I stopped doing it because it was fucking racist. Yeah. But apparently, if you have an English accent, it's not racist.
Well, Ricky gets away with a lot.
So anyway, but basically, it's about, like, how, you know, people say, you know, white people steal from black people, like, musically, you know, black people invented jazz, white people stole it, black people invented rock and roll, white people still go. Yeah, it goes the other way too. Every time I listen to hip hop, I hear the N word. You know, I don't want to split hairs, but that was ours. You know, that was like the bit.
It's funny.
Great
and Ricky Gervais says, the N-word, we invented that. And that's like his thing. Yeah. But anyway, so it's a pretty good impression, by the way.
Yeah, spot on.
So I remember doing that all week, and Patrice goes to me, why don't you just say the word? He's like, why are you saying the N-word? Don't say the N-word. Just say it. Just say it. I'm like, worst advice since whatever you told Jeff Dye.
Dude, that is really funny.
Why don't you? Hey, man, no.
No, if you want to crack the code on my entire career, I just do Simpsons, Norm Macdonald, and Patrice. Like, I'm, like, so inspired by, like, the thing. That's what I grew. That's how I got laughs in school. Like, that's the humor that I fucking love, dude.
I see Norm in you.
Patrice is the best, dude.
The best. Yeah.
Before we get in the game, I want to discuss a couple things. Also, you asked about his music. He's got a lot of chick music in his car
For
right
sure,
now
dude.
as we speak.
Counting Crows?
Like, yeah, but I'm talking like Natalie Imbruglia.
Yeah,
like
Imogen Heap.
Natasha Bedingfield.
Yeah.
Like, we're talking.
Well, I don't know if I have Natasha Bedingfield.
Just,
Jeff
you're like,
listens to like the music that your fun aunt listens
yes,
to.
yes.
Dude, it's terrible. I used to have a joke where I go, if you stole my iPod, you'd return it. Because it's like literally
You'll
just
be
not
on
good.
on the car ride here this morning. It was some chick.
But I
singing
think it's
about-
good. Like I,
think
listen to it, I
maybe,
go, isn't this pretty? And everyone's
maybe it
like,
was
what are
Avril
you listening to?
Maybe it was Avril Lavigne this
or
morning
Loot.
or something.
I love Loot. I don't even know, like Loot.
Yeah, I don't know. Dude.
Yeah,
I
they're the
got
best.
somehow a friend of mine convinced me to go to that like some concert at the Greek one time. It was like Sounds of Summer. It was like Everclear.
Oh, yeah.
Alive. Like all these bands. I was looking. I was like, God, these women are so old at this concert. I was like, oh God, they're all younger than me, probably.
It's really funny.
That's funny.
Well, the good thing about my music taste is that, like, if you do play me good music, I like that too. Like, I kind of just lack taste when it comes to music. Is really what it is.
Or effort. Sounds like because I'm the same way. You're not
I know it.
seeking out new
Yep,
music. Right?
exactly.
You're like, I know Natasha Belly, whatever. her
Yeah,
name
it's
is,
in my
Natasha
phone.
Fiona Applefield.
No, you don't know her.
Fiona Applefield.
Natasha Pellingfield.
Peloton.
It's actually funny.
Natasha Peloton is
Yeah,
really good.
that's great.
Let's get in the game. Before we do all this, Eliza, if you're out there, I know you probably watch the podcast. Can we just end this thing? And
Yeah.
let
I want you to be my friend.
his venom leave his body.
I really do. Let's hash it a little bit. So here's what happened. We were on a show together called Last Comic Standing, and she is such a competitive, like, strong woman that she got into, like, war mode. Gotta win. So I saw the war side of her. I saw the competitive side of her. And so that was the foundation of our friendship or relationship. I won't say friendship, the relationship. So I only got this kind of like aggressive, I'm gonna crush you vibe, which naturally that's what we had to do for Last Comic. So then once she won and defeated us all, I thought that would be gone. And then we would just go on tour together. But she carried this, I'm going to beat you kind of attitude towards us during the tour, which that wasn't great. And I made multiple efforts to bury it. I would go, hey, I'm sorry about whatever's going through, you and Marcus are going through, whatever. And then she like later found, she was like, yeah, when everyone tried to like make it right after I did so well, it's like, well, I was just trying to like be with you on tour. Like I wanted to like, it made my life better to get along with you if we could. And then after that, I hit like a breaking point where I was like, I can only metaphorically suck someone's dick for so long. Where like I literally like 90 cities of me trying to, heal this. I wrote her this really sweet card, gave her like a little gift and said, hopefully, there's no hard feelings. And then I heard her later be like, yeah. And then everyone tried to like apologize for the tour. I was like, I'm sorry. I don't know what you want from me. So then when
Nothing worse than doubling down on an apology. People want more of an apology.
I know. You're like, I didn't even want to do this in the first place.
It was hard to do that.
Yeah.
it was very vulnerable. And also like, I'm just trying to see this nice side of you that I do see you show other people. She showed like, I got to watch her be cool with other people. And I was like, it's like, you beat me. I mean, how much more do you got? You won. You won the thing. Right. So then I did hit a breaking point where I was like, fuck it. Now I'm just gonna talk shit because, and so that's all it really is. She never is. It doesn't have to be like a thing, really, in my opinion. But it's like annoying. It's been so long.
Yeah, well, it's gonna get fixed.
Yeah, it is a long fucking time.
Yeah, it's
That's
so
like
long.
That's
It's
2008.
Yeah, I'd see her at an airport. I'm like, hey, and she's like, hey. I go, still over nothing.
I don't blame you. There's some club owners who are dicks to me. I've always wanted to be more successful so they could try to. I haven't gotten there yet. I want to get to the point where people are like, can you do it? I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Tom from Cobb, suck my dick.
But
I'm still
also,
like, you got an off night?
yeah. But in my mind, I'm just like, you won.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? You're still squashing my neck for no reason. So that's all it is.
Okay.
All right, let's get into this. Everybody's got a price. The premise is, do you have the premise? Mm-mm. All you got to do is say, we'll name a ridiculous scenario.
Okay.
And you tell us how much you would do it for.
Okay.
But you got to make the number really what you would do it for.
Yeah.
Because there's a little UPC code here, whatever these things are called. I don't know if it's UCB. Whatever this code is, scan this. You can send your money, and we'll pay you to do the actual thing.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
And some of them will be realistic, some of them won't.
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to set up a fight between you and Mike Tyson, but I'm guessing your price would be so high that they're not going to give you that amount of money.
What would your price be to get in the ring against Mike Tyson right now today?
Boxing?
What would your price
on
be?
Netflix?
Boxing. You got to at least try to throw
Netflix.
one punch.
Just in a sparring gym. You got to fight Mike.
I guess $1 million.
1 million.
Okay, that's pretty high.
Yeah, it's high.
Well, because you got to think about like. He hits you once and you fuck your whole face up.
I know.
Now you're
Or
looking
like
at
just a body shot.
$200,000 worth of surgery.
You're out for 4 months.
Yeah, you're getting 50% off those taxes, so now you made like $300,000. Yeah, you gotta break it down. Like, do you see this UFC fight?
There's
this
the Jewish
weekend?
side.
There is the math side of it. You
Hey,
heard
got
that?
fearless
You heard the
Jewish
brain work.
going.
That was
But
great.
the UFC fight this weekend, this guy got his teeth
Oh,
smashed
I
out of his
heard
face.
about
It's
that.
like any dollar he made on that, he's gonna pay for surgery for the next like 5 years.
Oh.
How common is that? You watch a lot of UFC. Is that common?
For the teeth, no, that's
But
not
the
common.
jaw.
This was
It
different.
wasn't even the jaw. It was So Whitaker came out and said that he had a teeth injury before. Like even when he fought Dricus du Plessis, who's a champ now, he had a teeth injury, like where they were just loose. Kazma didn't have it. You're taught in jiu-jitsu when someone's trying to choke you, keep your chin down.
Okay.
So Whitaker did exactly what he thought he was supposed to do.
Right.
Kazma just cranked his face so hard that his loose teeth went in.
Broke.
I'm gonna try and find.
So gross.
So
I thought he broke his jaw, which is my actual nightmare. Like I have nightmares that my
don't
jaw's
wanna
broke.
see it.
Oh God,
look
yeah.
at that. Like they're bad. I mean, his whole gums are.
Why did
Yeah,
he
now he looks like Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking's little rake teeth at the bottom.
looks like a bat?
To do that to Robert Whitaker though, that is a bad fucking man.
It's a big deal. Yeah.
Why didn't he tap quicker?
He tapped right when he felt his teeth
When his
go in.
teeth fell in?
Christian, who do you got? Brendan Schaub or Nate Diaz? Who do you think wins?
Shot by a heartbeat.
he's huge.
Dude, Diaz is
I think that fight's gonna happen.
yeah, Diaz walks around at what, 180,
Yeah, it's
maybe
pretty unfair,
maybe
yeah.
200 max. Brendan walks around 240.
Yeah, but one's a crazy person and the
Yeah.
other one's not. So that's what-
I love Nate Diaz. Motherfucker's brain dead. That
Right.
guy has no like. Yeah, he can strangle
that
anyone.
makes him better in a fight, right? Because he's got like chimpanzee strength.
Well,
Not-
you know, what's funny is whenever someone learns like MMA or they go to jujitsu class or whatever the fuck this is, they always go, I wouldn't want to mess with me in a dark alley. It's like, well, guess what? Maybe if someone your exact weight and build messes with you in a dark
Yeah.
alley, it's always going to be someone bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brendan Schaub would beat the fucking
Kill him.
brakes off
Kill
of
him.
Nate Diaz. Because that's another thing that's interesting about our business where these comics want to fucking chirp about Brendan Schaub. Real smart target. That guy could murder any one of us effortlessly.
Like, you got to get Schaub out of it because he's a trained fighter. But which comic could beat up everybody who's not like?
So we can't
Gotta
count
put a
Callan.
lot-
We can't count Rogan or Callan or Schaub.
Wait, is
You
Callan
can-
a trained
you
fighter?
can
Callan's a
count-
trained fighter.
You can count Callan.
I feel like Callan
He's
just
done
works out to get
jujitsu.
laid.
Oh, okay. Then maybe I'm
Like-
wrong. I thought he could
like-
fight.
I mean, I've never seen him strike. I mean, he's choked me out before, but I'm not like anything.
He
so
seems like a hot yoga guy. Am I wrong?
no, he's done jujitsu because when in the
Callan
tail
seems
end
like
of
a
Brendan's
hot
career,
yoga
he was
guy.
there.
That's great.
This
All right.
is
So
not
who do you
bombs.
think then?
I mean, Alonzo Bowden's a big man.
Yeah, he is.
He
He's
is
old though.
He's old, but he's big. I mean,
Sam Hyde.
I don't know who that is.
Sam Hyde. I'm like a fan, and I got to like meet him at Skankfest and went up to him. Probably the biggest guy I've seen in our industry. He's just this huge. Can you Google Sam Hyde? I'm surprised you don't know who he is.
I'd say me.
He's huge because I've seen all this thing. He looks like some small fat guy.
Yeah, he doesn't look big on that.
He's like 6'5". Just barrel-chested giant guy.
I might be a little biased, but I'd say either Chappelle Lacey, or because he's a big motherfucker, and he has
He's
anger
so
issues.
sweet though.
That's why. That's
You think
also
so?
why. If he
He's got
snaps,
anger issues.
Yeah, I mean, he used to. Yeah, he had a
Wow,
whole
just
thing.
air
If
that
he
out,
snapped,
huh?
Yeah, I
well,
didn't know
he had a whole thing called it's managed.
Was he like a male cheerleader?
Yeah.
Just at one point,
Athletic.
he was doing like the
Yeah.
pyramid, just threw the chick.
He lives by a strange code. He's a cheerleader, but he also has anger issues. But he's
He tears up the pom pom.
sweetest guy we know. But he's also
He also plays punk rock.
Okay, so this is a fun question. Who do we
Jason
think
Ellis. Jason Ellis would.
Why am I blanking on who Jason
He's like
Ellis
the
is?
He
he's like
fought.
more of like a
He's kind of
podcaster
a-
than a comedian, right? I mean,
He's
maybe-
like new into like
New,
comedy,
yeah.
but he actually did train too. Or
yeah, but I
Jason
think if you trained, you're out.
okay.
You know what I mean? Like you got to be like a guy who's just like I haven't been in a fight since high
Oh yeah,
school.
this
and
guy's
then-
name keeps fucking coming up.
He's probably pretty tough. This guy.
He's insane. I love him.
Yeah,
He's fucking.
Yeah, he's funny. He's definitely funny.
He's always talking about gay shit when I see him.
yeah.
It's like
That's
a
part of the
very,
strategy how he's going to win that fight.
it's like a weird thing. It's like he's like always testing my tolerance of it. So I started stalking this guy off, and I figured, hey, I returned the favor, so he sucks me off, and I'm going, what are you talking to me like this
You're
for?
like, okay, anyway, so when you bring me up,
What's this gay shit? Exactly. I'm like, we don't know
Say
each
to
other.
the night show.
Why? What is this? Some sort of weird gay chicken we're playing? Trying to think who else. Jim Gaffigan, I've heard is a.
I've seen him.
Yeah. You
No,
saw
I've
him?
Seen him fight.
Yeah. What do you
You
think?
haven't heard this story?
What, at Gotham?
Yeah.
You were there?
Yes.
That's interesting.
I went
I was
after him.
Oh, really? So I was in New York that night, and I think
Yeah,
it was
because
at
we were doing
Gotham
the
that
Comedy
night.
Central
Yeah.
specials that week.
Yeah, but I didn't see it. So go ahead, tell the story.
Dude, it was fucking nuts because it was the Comedy Central special taping. So I was like doing guest sets all around town, and Jake Johansson was the headliner. And so,
Love Jake, by the
yeah,
way.
the best. And I did. I was doing a guest set, and before I went up at Gotham, Gaffigan did a guest set, and he goes on stage, and he's doing his thing. It's going okay. The crowd's rowdy, and then like somebody like says something. I think his wife went over and said something to the guys, and then next thing I know, Gaffigan's like, "Stand up, coward," and the guy's like, "Fuck you."
Stand up, coward.
And Gaffigan just charges off stage, and there is a melee. Like, he's fighting like 3 guys. What? 70 people get escorted out. I shit you not, a woman walks by me crying, going, "I came from Minnesota. I didn't want to see this."
That's amazing.
And then, so everyone gets cleared out. And then the show is about to start, and Irna Argati, who's Jake's agent at the time, where he goes, "Hey, we'd still like you to do that guest set."
Like, what?
Like, yeah, I bet you would.
Yeah, that's
because they're all
insane.
Jake doesn't want to go on
Yeah,
right now.
of course.
So I go on there, and I'm like, it's fucking not an easy gig.
Right.
Not an easy set. I'm doing like 7 minutes, and I'm like bombing, so I'm like, I don't even want to do my half hour. I want
Right.
to do like new shit so I don't lose the confidence.
Right.
So the next day, Time Out New York writes an article about it, and they go, after the fight, LA comedian, seemed like a dig, Mo Mandel takes the stage and attempts to win the crowd back by telling a joke about a man fucking a dog and a lion.
You're like, why are you taking that on me? At least I didn't fight the audience.
I know. I was like, that's like a horrible premise I had for like a week.
Hey, at least somebody's paid attention, though.
That's how you know the press sucks. They still had to take you down. You're like, I didn't punch anyone in the crowd.
And I think that his team must have buried that. And I am such a little bitch. I went to the New York Comedy Festival.
Yeah.
I went to all the parties and was like, "You're not gonna believe what just happened."
I would tell everyone because it's very interesting.
It was amazing.
Especially, it's such an unlikely
Yeah,
comic. Like it's very wild that Jim would do that.
I know.
How old was he?
I mean, this was 2010.
Like 20s, 30s, 40s? I mean, I don't know how old he was.
40s at least, I think.
So 40-year-old Jim Gaffigan fought some dude in the crowd.
Height, probably the height of his success.
That's insane.
That's probably like the peak.
Pop-Tarts
The
and-
peak of his like celebrity.
Well, he went walking by. He was like huffing and puffing. I was like, "Oh yeah, he's just
Big
a
guy.
big Midwestern guy."
Yeah.
He's not like a cut.
You wouldn't guess that he would be a fighter, though, just from seeing his personality.
He reminds
and
me of
his
Zach
comedy, though.
Stein.
I don't know who that is.
He's a very funny
cousin
comedian.
of Ben's.
No, look up Zach Stein, comedian. So, you seen this guy? He's freaking great.
No.
I know Stein spelled. This is like. You seen this guy?
No.
He's you go to the first picture of him or the second picture of him or whatever. He's great, but he's from Michigan.
Yeah.
And you just think that this guy is like an everyday fucking whatever. He's super brilliant. He's got a huge fucking cock, which is great. You can see his dick while he performs like in his pants.
Well, this is why Jason Ellis is always
Strange,
talking
right?
about gay shit.
Yeah,
You're hitting here
what?
knowing
No,
about
but
the
I
size
mean-
of guys' cocks.
Well,
I mean,
but no, it's like it's on. You can't ignore it.
Really?
And then
how do you know how the size of his cock? I mean, I could ignore it if his pants are
while
on.
he's on stage, like in the light, like you can see, like you're like, is he
Jeez,
is he
really?
doing that? Yeah, it's like is he doing that on purpose?
Maybe
And he-
stuffing.
At one point he references it. Like when I saw him doing the thing, he was like, "Yes, and my dick." Like it was like a really weird thing he wrote like material for it. But anyways, and
Yeah.
he's tough.
Wish
like
I could do that bit.
That guy doesn't seem like he can fight, but he's like just this Michigan kind of guy. Look at that first one actually. You might be.
I
Able
mean,
to
if
see
you
his
heard
dick
this guy
right
could
there.
fight, that would blow your mind, though.
Dude, let me see if you can
If
see.
you heard this guy had a giant dick, that would kind of blow your mind.
I bet he's not gonna be too happy I'm bringing that up, but
Why?
I don't know.
I mean, that's a good thing to have.
Wow.
Right? Maybe Stavros. Maybe he could fight.
Stavi.
He's a big dude. I don't know, right? Isn't he big?
He's kind of fat.
I don't know.
I imagine Gillis
No, he can't.
from Philly.
Oh, he was a lineman
Oh,
Yeah.
Ernst.
because he does karate
Seems
and
like
the
a wild
karate.
I just saw him in New York. Brett, maybe I don't know
He
what.
seems like a wild card.
He's a wild card. I mean, he's got kind of an abrasive. He's
Let's
tough.
do it.
I
Let's
feel like
change
he's
it to
tough.
which comic would want to fight the most. I think Brett Ernst is up there.
What about Mike Young? I bet he could fight. He's from
I bet
Detroit.
Mike Young could fight. Yeah, for
Detroit.
sure.
Chrissy D.
Chrissy D would be a. He's so sweet though too. I don't know. His temperament
York.
seems unusual. I think Shane Gillis could
yeah.
rumble.
Can
Oh,
I
yeah.
tell you, I almost got a fist fight on the plane.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
With whom?
dude. This.
Oh, by the
Friday-
way, real quick before that story, I know TJ Miller can fight, and he's a big guy.
Really?
Yeah.
He's big.
Yeah,
he's
Nikki
like 6'5".
Glazer saw
Really?
TJ Miller like knock out 4 guys just on the street. Like
That blows
4
my
dudes.
fucking
Just
mind.
dudes weren't ready to rumble, but like TJ knocked all 4 of them out.
I didn't know he was that big
I
though.
can see him
That's
fucking
crazy.
some people up a bit. No, he is big.
He's a big guy.
He is a big guy. He's like 6'5".
Yeah, I did not know that.
6'2".
Yeah,
I thought
don't
he was
think
like-
that's right. He's bigger than that. I'm 6'4", and he's about my size.
I
He's
thought
like
he was
7
like
foot
5'8".
tall. He plays for Knicks.
Nothing like a fact check that
Yeah.
quick, dude.
No, he's a big guy. Big
That's
mitts,
wrong
too.
though. He's bigger
Big
than that
fists.
That's crazy.
when he's on stage.
He probably put that because he's an actor and he's trying to get cast. You know, because like
Oh,
they're like
yeah.
really harsh on height.
Knocked out multiple people on the street.
Yeah,
That
I guess
still
like they
seems
said.
hard to believe.
Well, Nikki and him were like drunk. I think that like they just got
That
out of
seems easy
jail
to
or
believe.
something. There was some sort of like scenario, and then these guys hollered at Nikki Glazer, and then Nikki. Yeah, that's the TJ Miller. Nikki got arrested. Like they just got out of jail, and some guys like hollered at Nikki, and TJ just fucking went crazy and knocked.
He
4 of them
just got out of jail and then got in a
something
street
like
fight?
that, or maybe
Wow.
that's how he went to jail. There was some
Okay.
sort of, but Nikki was like, I watched it. I like watched him punch like fucking these dudes in
Wow.
the face.
Jesus.
Yeah, which is a pretty cool story. But go ahead.
Fist fight on the plane.
No, okay, so anyway, I get on the plane because I only bring this up because you said New York, and I think people from New York think they're really tough because they got that fucking like accent and shit.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know if they are tough or not, but this guy was sitting like in the aisle seat on the window. We had a whole seat in between us. There should have been no issue. You know, he puts his bag in the middle seat, whatever. I'm not gonna. It's fine.
Yeah.
So I'm using the tray. He's asleep. I don't even notice him for 3 hours, and I'm like putting my shit on the tray, and like it just happened to be this tray that kept going up. For some reason, it would go up. So a few times, like a can fell off, and a cup,
Yeah.
and you know, I think I grabbed it, but like if you can't see it at night, then
Sure.
like, what am I gonna do? Get
Fuck
on my
it.
fucking fuck it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So I don't even notice this guy. At 3 hours in the flight, the can falls off again, and he goes out of nowhere. He's like, hey, pick up the fucking can, all right? It's not a fucking garbage can. It's not a fucking garbage can, all right?
Oh, my
I mean, I've seen you do this 3 times, all right? And he's just like, I'm like, whoa, dude, I didn't even know you were here. Like,
Yeah,
what? It was so crazy. Like,
Did you stick out? Like you say that, John?
I stuck up.
Good.
I fucking and also I had my head for my noise cancelings on, so I
it's
must have
even
been
louder?
talking real loud.
Real loud.
So I could
great.
hear myself. So I'm just like, he's like, throw it in the garbage can. I'm like, where? Like, what are you talking? You
No, a
want me to wake
broad's
you
gonna
up?
come around with a bag, and it's pretty soon. That's when I'll throw it away.
And then he goes, you know, my bag's under here. Is there liquid in that? Is there liquid in that? And I'm like, dude, put your bag into your seat. Anyway, so I don't know. He didn't. I'm not a big guy, but I'm not a small guy either.
Yeah.
So the lights come on. He stands up. He is small as fuck.
Of course,
So
yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's it. I force myself, so I'm right behind him, and I just lean right. I'm like, this guy's like 5'7", but he's got this strong little New York accent and a
Yeah.
beanie. He thinks he's some tough guy. I just trailed him the whole way out just to be like, you little dwarf
Just
motherfucker.
one forearm on him just to let him know.
That's so funny. But you were ready.
I was ready.
Yeah.
I mean, I could be a little hot. I'm not necessarily a good fighter,
No,
but
it's
I will
good.
fight.
Yeah, no, that's.
And he said to me, he goes, and then I go, just don't fucking talk to me. Just don't fucking talk to me. And I look back at my laptop and he goes, we're up here for 2 more hours. Don't annoy me. And then he goes back to sleep.
That's
like,
an order.
like, what are you going to do?
Don't annoy
What
me.
are you going to do? We're on a flight.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
What are you going to do?
seem easy to annoy, actually.
Yeah.
One time I got on the airplane, he was talking super loud on his phone. We were like landed, so we're just waiting, and they're like, hey, we can't go to when there's some sort of bullshit, we got to wait extra 15 minutes or whatever before they can pull up and let us out. And so this guy pulls out his phone, he starts shouting on his phone. And so now people are starting to get annoyed. They go, hey man, shut up, or like they're just like whatever. And then he has like this crazy meltdown on the whole plane. He's like, everyone shut the fuck up, I don't give a shit, I'm on my... and I was like, I was closest to him, so I was like, hey, dude, just cool out, man. We're all on this thing. We're going to get off soon. You don't got to be yelling at everyone. Just relax. He goes, you want to go outside?
Like on the wing?
Yeah, and I like, just in a moment of like whatever, I go, what are you, 12 years old? No, I don't want to go outside. No one's going to fight you, sir. We just all want you to be quiet. Yeah. And then the whole plane started clapping. I was like, I didn't want that either. Like,
Yeah, now it's a big
yeah,
thing.
yeah. And then, but like that was the best, like disarming, like, no one's gonna fight you.
Yeah,
like I just thought it was so silly. Want to go
It is
outside? We
so
all
funny.
want to go outside.
When someone like yells at you and you're like, we're living lives here.
Yeah.
We don't know. We're not going to interact ever
Grown-ups.
again.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Just sit and shut the fuck up. Like,
Yeah, also, like 20 years ago, we would have been fighting, but now it's like, what are we doing?
I know.
What are we doing?
When also like anyone who says you want to go outside, is just a fucking guy that doesn't want to fight.
100%.
Because we can fight right here, right now. What are you talking about? Go outside.
Maybe he's respectful to the other people.
It's
but
nonsense.
But apparently not.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. There's gonna be people outside. We're gonna have to fight around.
Let's go back inside.
Well, like baseball players will do it. Like, meet me after the game. It's like, fight right there if you're fucking so hard.
Yeah,
what, are we gonna like
exactly.
schedule like a meetup in front of the schoolyard? All right, what's another one?
How much to? What about fighting one of the Logan Paul or Jake Paul, whoever?
I think more than $1 million because they would.
Okay,
beat
so
the
that would
fuck
be more
out of
than
me.
Mike Tyson.
Yes, they would be the fuck out of me, but it wouldn't be as cool to people for some reason.
Oh yeah, Mike's cool.
Yeah, and he's famous, and people love Mike. And if
Yeah.
you lose the Mike, but if you're like, oh, Jake Paul, like, put you in the hospital, like, that would... And he would. I mean, he's a big motherfucker.
dude.
And people are like, he's a YouTuber. He's been boxing for 6 years. He was
also
a good wrestler.
Yeah, he was like a college wrestler,
Yeah,
too. That's another thing
It's like
people
calling
forget.
Theo Von a reality star at this point.
It's like, I mean, it's so funny that all these people who trash Jake Paul for being a YouTuber, it's like, they're now YouTubers.
Right.
Like, they were fighters, and now they're
and
YouTubers.
nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
Right, so who gives a
Also,
shit?
when he wasn't YouTubing, he was just training.
And he's
Right.
a big, young guy. Like, youth is real important when it comes to
100%.
fighting.
100%. Yeah,
100%.
yeah, that's fun.
Here's a fun one. This one might be low. How much to get slapped by one of those slap boxers?
Oh, more than $1 million. More than $1 million.
It's-
Because if you think getting knocked out by Jake Paul is unimpressive, a guy who works at Quickie Mart who just gives you brain damage is
yeah,
really
and you had to
unimpressive.
take it.
Yeah,
Like,
fuck that.
just hemorrhaging on the.
Yeah.
All right, how much for a female slap boxer? Less.
$6 million.
6 million.
It just gets
Oh,
worse.
that's even more humiliating.
It's even worse. Yeah, it's even worse. Those chicks are big, dude.
Paige Van Zandt.
Oh, Paige Van Zandt, I'd go for. Yeah, I don't know.
6 million.
500,000.
That's hilarious.
It's weird that she looks so attractive in some of these photos.
Some really not.
Yeah, it's very. These UFC chicks are like that. Like, it's confusing.
Have you seen Rose Namajunas with hair?
No,
Oh my god.
Beautiful.
I don't even know who it is.
Yeah.
You know Rose.
I've never
One of
seen
the
her
best
bald.
125ers. Oh yeah, wow.
Keep going. Oh yeah, she's pretty. Is she bald or something? Oh god.
That's Rose.
Hair
Doug
is
Rose.
hair is so important.
It really is. It really is.
She would probably beat the shit out of everyone in this.
I don't think that's.
I don't think
All
that's
right,
true.
take it easy, bro.
I'm pretty
She's
big.
what,
She's
120?
125 pounds. I don't. I mean,
I don't think I'd do great, but I think I'd be able to fucking,
One punch?
Yeah,
I think the
one
difference is
puncher.
she'd be in really good shape, and I don't think any of us.
Yeah.
Would be in
I'll
really
take that fight actually. If they wanted to set that up,
What would be your price?
good- Yeah.
Get in
I'd
the
do
ring.
it. Just let's do it. What would we sell tickets? I'd be happy to do it. Do you see that
Oh,
one
no,
guy?
dude,
Like
what if you
Google
get
this.
knocked out?
I'd be happy. Well, if I lose, so what? She's a UFC
Or
champion.
how about Ronda Rousey?
That'd be a little different. She's a little bigger, ain't she?
Yeah.
No, but that's less scary
Also-
because they're not going to knock you out. I don't think. She's just
Here's
gonna,
my
like,
problem with
tackle
Ronda
you.
Rousey. She's just gonna like twist my arm till it breaks or
Right,
something
right.
like that. She does not even gonna try and fight me.
I was gonna say the only other like big person I could think of that would probably like knock out would be Valentina Shevchenko or
Yeah.
Amanda Nunes, and they're like 125, 135.
They're all small, yeah. Well, the thing too is like Ronda Rousey is like she's like I'll pull your arm off. Like she's like a submission person.
Jiu-jitsu, yeah.
No, so there's a regular guy with no training fought 2 UFC chicks,
Yeah.
and he beat the fucking
fat guy?
shit out of her.
Wait,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, check this out. Watch this video. He's just like a regular man, but he fought 2 chicks. And these girls, I don't know how high ranked they are or whatever, but they were like so confident they were gonna beat the shit out of this guy.
Well, he clearly stays in good shape.
Yeah, but like that, could he be more average? Look at this guy.
He could not. He looks like everyone who lives near me in Glendale.
Can you fast forward to the fight?
Dude, you won't believe the fight. He got like you can tell he doesn't know what he's doing. But watch,
And
Just-
they have helmets.
just being a man.
I don't know how well trained these girls are. They don't.
Yeah.
Oh, they're trained.
Oh,
It's just like they just start running because they're like shit. A real punch is pretty big.
This guy like hitting his daughters.
I know.
Yeah,
and
this
he
is
also like
odd.
his like a full arm is terrible.
Oh, God.
Terrible form on the punches, but they're landing.
that was in the back of the head. And that's not.
There's Gavin Newsom coming up there. He was the ringside announcer. People thought it was a weird
Yeah.
choice.
Just when I thought the video couldn't get any worse, I had to see Gavin Newsom. It's hilarious.
Oh. So,
that's great.
all right. So that's we'll try to set that fight up for you. For
Dude, I'd
sure.
love to fight him. Wait, here's one. How much to shave your head? Bald.
Oh.
You ever been bald?
No.
You have,
I would look
you
real
have
bad.
a great hairline.
I know, but
and
I have my face
ima-
is a lot of non-symmetry going on. It would not be. I 50,000.
But I imagine,
50,000.
but I imagine your hair would just grow back.
Is that not a lot?
That's a way lot. But
that
because
a
you're a
lot?
guy,
He said
that'll grow back in like a
$2,000.
fucking week on you.
Yeah, maybe 50 is ridiculous. I do 20,000.
$50,000.
Look at his hair too. He would have that back. He'd wear a hat for like 2 weeks, and then he would
Yeah,
look
but my
great.
wife might leave me. She might be like, "Oh, I saw something about his face that I never noticed."
Oh no, yeah.
His
yeah.
wife
like-
gets the ick.
It's like, oh.
I didn't know wives could get the ick. I thought
Like,
it
you
was
kidding?
it's hilarious.
What about eyebrows? How much shave an eyebrow?
One eyebrow?
Yeah, let's do one. It would be cheaper for one, right?
I guess like I don't know, $7,000. I guess.
Yeah, your eyebrow go back fast too. Hair,
mean,
I
it's
thought
like-
hair would
I
have been
don't-
real
I
cheap
mean,
for
it's-
you.
The problem
How
is, what if
cheap
it
would you
doesn't?
do- Well, yeah.
That's the scary part.
can that
like,
happen?
you're like, what if it doesn't?
I,
fucking
I,
grow
what did
out?
I say? $2,000 for
$2,000,
my hair?
yeah,
Yeah, I'm
for
gonna
your
just go
hair.
bald to
You're
$2,000.
more handsome than me.
Well, I just wear a hat.
You're a handsome guy. Like
I'm a hat guy.
I need it's like I need a lot of periphery. If you focus
I gotta
too
take
much,
the attention
yeah.
off
If you
your
focus
face.
too much on if the camera focuses too much, you're like,
Oh, that's a funny thing I just thought of. Did you see Donald Trump say to Joe Rogan? He's like, and then you see the side effects. Says you may cause baldness. We don't like baldness. And then it cuts to Rogan roast.
Yeah, he did say that. I saw that.
He goes, we don't like bald. And you could just see just
I was like, what do you mean we don't like
it's so
bald?
funny when he says what he likes. He's
Perfect
like,
cut.
One thing he said on the road, he goes, Robert Kennedy doesn't like gas. I like gas. I like oil. I like gas.
I like gas.
What did you like? You like
You
bathing
like
in
gas?
it?
Yeah.
I like
What are you, the bad guy
gas.
from Dune?
I don't think Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has a personal issue with gas.
Yeah, no, he doesn't.
He
Yeah,
thinks
yeah.
it's like hurting the planet. Like he's not like anti-gas because they had a bad
Because
conversation.
it touches
Yeah.
weird. Yeah, it feels weird.
It's just filmy. I don't like it.
What about taking public transportation for a week? Only.
In L.A.
Buses,
LA.
In New York, I
trains.
did. Oh, fuck.
No Uber.
No Uber, no friends. Got to be public transportation for a week.
I mean, I have a toddler. I don't do that much.
Oh, that's interesting,
I would
yeah.
probably. I wouldn't go to the comedy store at 11:30. I don't know, $1,000.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
$1,000.
He got a
What would
meltdown.
you just be at his house for? Oh, dude, I couldn't do it. Here's the thing: I would name a number that's ridiculous. I'd say I could do that for $50,000, right? And then,
50 for public transport.
well, because I just my pride, and then also like I just like I'm such a man of like convenience, you know. So, but here's what happened: I'd do it for like a day, and then I'd be like, "You don't have to pay me. I broke. I drove somewhere."
I guess $2,000. I guess $2,000.
That's
Because
good.
yeah, because like staying at your house for a week, you've got a wife you love and like 2 kids. Like it'd be easy to stick around your house for a week, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Besides coming here at 9 a.m. to do your podcast,
Yeah,
that's probably what I'll be doing.
You would have to taken the bus here, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have fucking.
We'd
sucked.
line up
What
a
time do you
couple
normally wake
episodes.
up? Forget the podcast hour, but like what time do you normally wake up?
I mean, well, it's like, you know, sometimes you'd be up at like 5 in the morning, like getting your kid to go back to sleep, and then you get up at like 7.
Oh, okay. 7, that's early.
Yeah. That's the thing with kids. You're perpetually tired.
Right.
And I have sleep apnea, so I got to wear that fucking.
You do?
Yeah, I got to take off that. I know. Isn't that ridiculous?
You're the best shaped person I've ever heard to have sleep apnea.
I do a bit about this. That
Yeah.
I'm going to put out a calendar called the Sexy Men of CPAP. Just like mildly in shape guys who still have to
Really
wear.
funny.
Because it's ridiculous. I mean, you think of
Yeah.
Stavros, like, that's what a sleep
Sure.
apnea body looks
And
like.
it's
Yeah.
you know, it's no disrespect to bigger guys, but it's generally bigger guys that have it.
No, literally, the doctor said to me, "Did you like?" Basically said, "Like, did you used to be fat?" I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"No," and they're like,
Do you have like a deviated septum or something?
"I
Like,
do have that," and I think it's just like, I mean, Rogan has
Yeah,
it, right?
it's-
Oh,
Well,
interesting. He
according-
does. He's like the healthiest guy in the world.
Dude, he is like hawking the sleep apnea thing, or he and Dana White. At least they're being used to sell this device, and I'm like, I'm gonna try.
I was impressed with how Joe Rogan could be so cool and like I don't know the right term. His guy seems to be the most open-minded, like great guy, while being on so many substances.
right.
While I was talking to him, he was like the most alert and clear and like open-minded and like just cool. But he was high. He was vaping. He was doing mushrooms. He had like a drink in his hand. We had a cigar. I was like, this is all the things, and you're still like the most connected
And
dude.
he has like 3 kids, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, pretty sure it's like 3 daughters.
Well, according to him, he's on Alpha Brain. He's
Oh, yeah,
on this brain
Lion's
pill,
mane,
this lion's
like,
mane.
yeah,
pill.
TRT.
Yeah, so who knows?
But how's he operating?
how does he? I don't know.
I'm
Some of
like
these
I
people just-
I needed to get completely clean of everything before I could even like write well, and this guy's doing all the shit, and he's a genius.
I hate to quote Louis C.K. for the second time on a podcast, but he had that bit where he's like, you see in Mad Men where they do a deal and they drink like a glass of scotch. Like, how are they not on the floor an hour later? Like, oh, what?
they were. But that's the great myth of alcohol.
Yeah.
We've made it seem so like glamorous. Mad Men wasn't real.
No. It's like Snoop Dogg smoking weed and then getting horny and tough. It's like, that's never been
Right.
my
Never
experience with
happened.
smoking weed.
But that's the illusion of this industry. It's such bullshit.
Yeah.
Like those Mad Men guys were sloppy fucking, like the real men of that era were like slapping their wives around and then the next day like being like, I'm sorry, honey. Like I did, like there was a lot of dysfunction.
It was a single malt. You know?
Yeah, there's a lot of
Should've gone double barrel.
dysfunction. They make it sound cool when John Hamm does it in a script.
right.
Yeah, or like Tom Waits, like he's one of my favorite like people ever. When I would drink, I would think like I'm Tom Waits at the bar, but the dude's a mess, fucking beating like up homeless guys and
Yeah.
like literally puking in the alley.
Sad how many of your heroes, as you get older, you're like, oh, I love them. I'm so glad I am not them.
Yeah, just a
I
sad
don't want
drunk
to
who's
be that
miserable.
person.
Yeah.
A lot of problems.
And I hate to dunk on Andy Kindler twice in a podcast, but that's a guy I thought was cool when I was young, and I'm now like, ugh.
Kindler's catching 2 strays.
Yeah. I don't want to be that fucking miserable.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone's sitting around going, God, I'd like to be him.
Yeah, well, I thought that when I was a young
dude,
comic. I was
yeah.
like, man, he's a comic.
funny.
Comic.
Yeah, nice guy.
How much to this one's a fun one. How much to go on stage and be silent for 3 minutes during your act?
Where?
Where you pick, wherever you want.
$100.
Huh? Look, we're doing it.
No. I know, we take it back.
Lock it in.
$500.
Because that 3 minutes is a long time.
Yeah, maybe you're right. $500. $500. I'm
$500.
Yeah.
Can we go back? You already locked in, right?
Sorry, locked
Three
in.
I didn't know it was one final answer. Yeah.
No, you can say 500. We'll give you
500
500
bucks.
for it. Because like
You got to set up the gig though.
would you open it with it? Would you put it in the middle or would you put it at the end?
I think it's ballsier if you put it at the end.
Yeah.
If you do it in the beginning, you could win them back, you know. But like if you do it at the end, you like, especially if you just kill and then just are silent,
and then
people
just
are
get to. But then at least they like you,
yeah. But then
and they
they're
know
like,
you're capable.
Maybe he had a stroke up there. Like,
Well, I'm thinking if you open with it, they're just gonna get restless and be like, "Come on!" Like they might like
Yeah.
turn, or the crowd
Can
might.
you do any Can you do anything?
Yeah, you just can't
He
say
thinks
anything.
you can, but like I think that now you just develop. Then you would just design some bit
Yeah,
to be
yeah, I
doing
think you
anything. I
gotta
think
be
that's
like this
cheating.
now.
Yeah, but you can't design a bit to do all that shit for 3 minutes.
Sure, you can. Because then you'll just bomb for 3 minutes as opposed to being silent for 3 minutes.
I want to
getting-
see you
I'm
do
actually
it.
getting
I think there's a
nervous
big
thinking
difference
about
by
it now.
doing like a pantomime like for 3 minutes than just being silent. It's not really being silent for 3 minutes.
Yeah, I just can't imagine pantomiming for 3 minutes either.
I'm getting like
That's a whole
actually,
different
like,
challenge.
I'm getting like anxious just thinking about it now.
Yeah, it's not a fun one.
I'm like, I do not do well with like silence.
Yeah.
As a comedian, like I'm one of those people are like, I don't care about the laughs. Like, oh, I really care about the laughs.
Yeah,
Like,
I care
if
about
I
it,
don't
yeah.
have the laughs, I'm freaking the fuck out.
Yeah, silence can be uncomfortable for sure, especially if there's no, like I get not uncomfortable, but it's vulnerable to be silent when it's by design,
Yeah.
when it's part of a punchline,
Right.
let alone no design.
Somebody who hates
3
silence
minutes.
immediately said $100
Yeah.
right out of the gate.
Yeah. I don't know what
Well, because it wasn't
I'm also
shaving his head.
I should have said that.
It wasn't shaving his head or
Yeah.
fighting Jake Paul.
He
you know?
felt so bad about his high amounts that he goes,
Yeah.
I got to do one
That is
for
kind
real
of weird.
cheap.
Yeah, $100 but $1 million to shave my head or something. Then I gotta
What about getting hit by a pitch by a major league pitcher?
in the face?
No, it won't be your head, but like just the way the players do. So like you're up at the plate,
I don't know.
you got to wear one.
In the
I would,
face.
I would probably do $5,000.
Okay, $5,000. It's
Cheap,
good.
yeah. What about dropping on a half pipe? Skateboard.
Like a big one?
Yeah.
Fuck. Like, I don't know.
I think half pipe's the exact measurement.
No, but if you see the little ones, then you see the ones from like Thrashing, that movie in the 80s.
Yeah. Well, even those small ones are gonna
they look
fuck
terrifying.
your
I don't
ankle
know,
up.
$5,000.
Yeah, it's so scary.
Either way, I'm getting fucked
What
up.
about a small one? And what would it be a different price?
$2,500? But I mean, I could bail right away, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but bailing, you still like roll your
No,
ankle.
it would hurt. Yeah.
Dude, I did it once when I
wouldn't
was
be real
young
about
and
it.
spry, and I snapped my ankle right in half. And the
Don't
kid
tell him
filmed.
that,
No,
he
the
just
kid
said
filming me. Yeah, the kid filming me goes, he's about to roll his left ankle. Like the kid like narrated because he was a real skater, like knew exactly what I was about to do.
What about going and doing slam poetry at one of your gigs?
Wait, at one of your gigs.
Like you have a comedy show, but you got to do slam poetry.
Unironic comedy. Unironic slam poetry.
Wait, at one of his gigs, I don't understand.
Well, if you just have to go out there and do slam poetry when they think you're going to do comedy.
Oh, that's terrible. Because I thought we were talking about like going to a slam poetry night and doing a slam poetry.
That also sounds terrible.
That
Just
sounds
going
terrible.
to one sounds terrible. I guess,
All right, so just go do slam poetry somewhere. How much?
like to a slam poetry night?
Yeah.
1,500.
Okay, and how about to do Comedy Magic brings you up and you have to do slam
that would
poetry?
be. I don't. That would be like 100.
Brant,
Because
do you know
then I would never get booked there again. So I'm like trying to think like, I guess.
All right, so not that
300,000.
big of a bar show or whatever.
Yeah, I guess 2,000.
Do you know Brant Tobler?
Yeah.
Dude, he's the fucking man. He's got this great bit where he's like, I've been trying to fuck more black chicks. Like, that's the premise, which is just already ridiculous. And he's like, so I was going to the slam poetry night, and like basically, and this is a true story. He gets finagled into like having to do a poem to impress this black chick, but he's like, I don't know any fucking poetry, and I'm like, I'm panicking. I'm like, do any of my jokes rhyme? He's like panicking, and then he's like, so I just went up there, and he starts to get into the poem, but he's just doing a Garth Brooks song. Without singing, he's just saying the words to like
Friends in low places.
the river or something. Like he's doing the thing, and they all like lose their mind. He's like, I know these bitches have never heard of Garth Brooks. Like I know that they don't.
That's so funny.
But it was such a good story and such a good bit. And he's like, literally, these black chicks are like hooking up with him because he just ripped off a Garth Brooks song.
I can't wait till they find out.
It's so funny.
Years down the way, like, wait a minute, this is the
Yeah,
song.
they're like, who's Garth Brooks?
All right, so you said $2,000.
Yeah.
Okay. How much to be in a wheelchair for a week?
Jesus.
Horrible.
Talk about stolen valor. They're like, why are you in that? A podcast is paying me to be in a wheelchair.
I don't want. I don't know. I mean, I don't. Anyway, I don't. I wouldn't want to do
It's
that.
bad
Do you
karma.
have steps? Do you have steps at your house?
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that.
It'd be a good way to get into the mind. Also, dude, you'd be ripped after a week. So strong.
Sure, but your legs would be all fat.
It's so weak.
Your legs are just
Giant
fat.
You're not gonna get fat legs from a week.
That's really funny.
Maybe you're eating a lot.
But look
Jared,
at
what are you doing?
but look at his biceps.
Yeah,
That's really funny.
How about you?
For a week,
A week.
I'd do it for $2,000
Wait,
No, you fucking would.
Yeah.
A week?
in a wheelchair. Yeah, why not?
we wouldn't have to pay him because I know.
Well, yeah, you would.
No, I
dude.
know his house. I would be able to get film of you just picking up the wheelchair and bringing it into your you would. I've seen your driveway and your fucking.
Well, yeah, you got to go in the house.
I know, but you got to
You
use the
stay in it.
wheelchair.
You got to have someone carry the chair up. You got to do real.
You can't just carry the chair with you.
Yeah.
You've got to be in the wheelchair.
In your house, you can.
My house. Think about my place. I could never do this one.
Yeah, you could.
There's all stairs.
You just got to take the wheelchair when you leave.
Dude, my wife was not happy
You
about
don't
me
do stairs
leaving
with
this
you.
morning when she's with the toddler to go to a podcast. If I was like, I took a dare on a podcast, babe. I can't drop her off. I'm in a wheelchair because they're paying me $2,000.
If the price
I also
is
have
right,
to shave my eyebrows for $8.
well, if the price is right, she might be fine with it.
Yeah, but it would have to be.
What would the
something.
price have to be, you
I
think?
would have to hire daycare. God, I don't know. It would. I have to get back on that.
You wouldn't do it for $10,000.
No, hope not.
I mean, 10
Trying to
grand
get
I would
him
do
up.
in a
I'm
second.
trying to get him up.
How much would you do it for?
A wheelchair for what? I just don't think I could do it. That's the problem. Is like all these challenges where I'll say a number and then I'll fucking.
Well, you don't sleep
Quit.
in the wheelchair.
How much would it cost for you to fight Jake Paul while in a wheelchair?
Oh my god.
He has to be on a
It'd be
skateboard.
hilarious. Oh, that'd be great too. Like make these caveats.
Yeah.
I get a bat.
Yeah.
And I get to fight Jake Paul. I would do it for $100,000.
Real? Jesus Christ.
And I know it's so much.
You guys, people do this.
but I would really commit to it.
People have to do this.
I would really commit to it.
Yeah, how would
That
you
is the funny
shower?
thing with these hypotheticals.
That's
We're
the
like,
thing. You just got to wash yourself, I guess.
Just go to a hotel.
But for $100,000, it'd be worth figuring out for me.
Well, yeah,
I-
you
you
could
know,
rent a new house for a week. For
Yeah, just
Just
like
go to a
stay
stay at
with
a
someone,
hotel for a week on
pay
the
some
bottom
beautiful
floor.
woman to just keep me company and be like, all right,
you're-
just hold me accountable. Don't let me get out of this chair. If I need like something cooked or something, can you
I
help
think
me?
you're downplaying the psychological impact of like having to seriously stay seated for a week. That would
It would suck.
It would be rough. That
But
would be rough.
we're talking about $100,000. I think that's totally. I'd probably do it for less actually.
Yeah, but, like-
$50,000. It's 1 week.
You could be like a wheelchair where you have like a broken leg where you can like hop into the car and stuff. Like
Oh,
it's
now
not
you're
like
changing
Yeah, you
it?
keep
not you're
changing it.
handicapped. I
Yeah.
didn't say you couldn't move your legs.
I
You're
thought
just
you
in a
I thought you meant
wheelchair
you gotta
for a
like
week.
sit. You gotta
Well,
shit in
I
the chair.
thought it was
Oh, dude.
like a
Oh,
wheelchair.
yeah.
No.
This is
People in a wheelchair, they like somebody puts it in the car, they hop in the car, somebody grabs it. Like you take an Uber and the.
Well, I'm assuming
When
that it
you
would
guys
be
are-
I'm
difficult.
not, when I think of someone in a wheelchair, I'm not imagining them hopping anywhere.
Well, I'm not saying you're
Yeah.
paralyzed. That's you guys saying you're paralyzed. I'm just saying you're in a
You
wheelchair
get like a
for
football
a week.
injury. You
But
kinda
I think
hobble
that
around
I'm
a little
in
bit,
the wheelchair. I don't think of hopping around when someone says in a
Yeah, I know.
wheelchair.
I think-
that's what I'm saying.
I think crutches.
I'm in it.
yeah.
Yeah, they're in crutches.
Yeah, I don't think that I'm not in it.
Were you like a
hopping
pussy
around.
at the airport where you have like a sprained ankle and they're wheeling you through the airport?
Yes.
Get the fuck up.
Yes, dude.
Yeah, we see some guy leaning on a thing with one leg. I go, oh, look at him in his wheelchair.
But if I see someone in a wheelchair at the airport that's not paralyzed, I'm like, you better be 90 years old. Like, you see people in their 60s.
You see a
like,
lot.
wheel me around.
Can you look up Kevin Nash wheelchair, and then you could even do GIF. Kevin Nash wheelchair GIF. Watch this. So this was a gag he did where the leg is fake. Watch this. Kevin Nash. He reveals that he's not really injured, but it's also a fake foot. So he just stands up. It's not
amazing.
real, right? So anyways,
that's
what
funny.
I think of every time I see a black lady at the airport. They literally.
I'm sorry. What?
So at the airport, you'll notice
Every
it now.
time?
You'll think I'm crazy till you start observing. There are so many black women who get the wheelchair to the terminal or to the gate, and then the second that they go, all right, boarding group 3, they just stand up and they go. And I'm going, but you took a whole wheelchair here. It's the most crazy.
I don't think
pattern.
it's just black women.
Yeah, I was
I
going to
think
say,
there's
like,
a lot of other
I see a
women
lot
that
of
do
people
it.
just doing that. There's a lot of laziness.
But I know what you're saying.
Laziness is
I've
race.
seen a ton of old people that take wheelchairs to the
Yes.
gate. I've seen a ton of women, men, all races or whatever.
Yeah.
I've only seen black women just get up out of the chair like it's a miracle.
Maybe
and
they're also
walk
on a
into-
podcast bet.
Maybe that's what it feels like. But in my
I've seen
mind,
lazy people of all races do that, and I judge them all a lot.
Yeah.
I'm like, get the fuck up.
Well, but here's the thing.
Just because the airport offers this service
Yeah.
does not mean you got to
Do some
cash
shit.
this
it.
also might be a problem of my own experiences. But once you see 6 black ladies do it, you go, it's black ladies.
Yeah.
I saw it 6 times in a row. I go, what the fuck?
That's how all racism works.
Yeah.
Everything's boiled
6.
down to if you see it 6 times, that's what they do.
It is unfair, but I've seen it multiple times, and I go, every time it's some lady.
Not all ladies. It's
Right,
your own
not
bit,
all,
Jeff.
not
Come
all,
on.
yeah, but it's funny.
2 more because we're getting low on time. How much to a bikini wax?
Oh God.
Oh, God.
And you're a hairy guy.
I once waxed my chest, and it was truly one of the more traumatic things I've ever done.
Yeah, it's
It
so
was
gross.
So painful. Bikini wax asshole? I mean, I would say it would be very convenient to have less hair in my asshole.
Oh yeah.
I don't
agree.
know.
I mean,
guess I would go.
you said asshole.
Do they bleed
Oh,
a
it's a
lot?
bikini.
I don't know,
What?
man. I've
A
never
bikini
got
wax,
one.
that's what it is.
Is it okay? I
Yeah,
thought it
it's
was.
like you
Yeah. That's
take
a Brazilian.
Yeah.
I thought the
Brazilian
bikini was
bikini
just
wax.
the bikini.
Oh no, you're
line.
right, because it's where the bikini covers. That's what they're implying.
I think it's
yeah.
the whole ass. and
Yeah,
stuff.
that's what they're implying. Yeah,
Oh, God, I would.
it's a nice way of not having to say vagina wax.
I think I would do. I guess I'd do it for $7,500.
Okay, it's lower.
Because there's a part of me that's
$5,000
There's a part of me that
It's like, it
wants
would be
it to
nice
be
to
less
not have to
hairy.
wax.
for $2,000. There's no way you're not doing it.
Dude, you don't know how painful. Have you ever waxed your body? It's so painful. Look at how much fucking chest hair I have, dude. This is
I know
insanity.
that'd be. Here's the thing. I also started. This is me being conspiracy. I'm also thinking. Is it the best way to get rid of hair? Why are we doing it? There must be a better way to get rid of hair.
Can't we
I
just
don't-
shave
dude,
it?
When I was
Why are we waxing?
when I was single, before I got married, I had a girlfriend. Then we broke up. I was single for 3 years, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna wax. I'm gonna get my. I did a laser for $2,000, and it never worked. And they were like, yeah, some people it's just their hair just doesn't work. They're like, I did
I paid all this money. Yeah, that's
Some people just
ridiculous.
doesn't work.
Yeah,
What's
they're like,
the
some
some
people's hair
people
is too
talk?
strong. I'm like, where was that in the fucking Groupon?
Yeah, some-
Just a shitty laser company.
Yeah.
They're like, sorry. doesn't
Hey, you're
really
one of the
work.
ones that doesn't work on. You got, but I paid.
Like, do I get the $2,000 back? Like,
Yeah.
no, you just wasted an hour a week driving here to do this.
Oh my
that's
God,
brutal.
that
Sucks.
sucks.
And you also just feel like extra bad about yourself. You're like, help cannot be. There's
Yeah.
no help for you.
I'm a
You-
primate.
Yeah,
I can't
you're a
even,
mon- you're a monkey.
can't even fucking fix it. That's so funny to me.
Last one. How much to get a job at Applebee's for a week?
Could use one. A waiter?
Yeah, waiter.
Use one.
Great answer.
$1,000? If I had to keep the tips?
You get to keep the tips
Fuck
and
yeah, $1,000.
yeah, you
I'd
get
do
to
it.
keep your paycheck.
I was a waiter for 2 days. I got fired, so I would like another shot at that.
Wait, when? How long time ago?
Yeah, when I was in San Francisco, 2004 to 2006, I was a bartender. And
Yeah.
I was really good at stealing. So I would steal like at least $100 a shift. It was really good, and I
Nice.
felt like an entrepreneur. I didn't feel bad about it.
Yeah.
I still don't feel bad. About it.
Tale as old as time. Really.
Yeah. I was like, this is good. You know, I'm look at me like, yeah, I've got a side business here.
Yeah.
Dude, you stole at the start?
Oh, at the start, yeah.
Oh, man, you can't do that,
hilarious.
dude.
Right away.
They got...
But one time they moved me up to be a waiter, and I.
You're like, when am I done with this training part? Because I got to start stealing.
Yeah.
That's like the only time you're washed is right when you start, too.
That's why I got the job, because I knew a guy who had a job. He was like, oh, I stole $70,000 last year.
Oh,
Like,
nice.
they don't know what's going on.
Oh, my
That's
God.
great.
Yeah, I never hit that high, but I
That's
did.
cool. Yeah, you only worked there for a couple days.
I think comics would make great servers just in general. because like each table's like a little room. You know, you got to read it. You got to work the.
I also like Applebee's. Is that weird to say? I'm a fan. Remember, you used to do those colleges, and they would always get to take you to a meal.
Dude,
and they'd
it was always
take it to
Applebee's.
Applebee's.
Yeah, so
it
many
was
times.
Fucking good.
I think it was like they knew it wasn't going to be too expensive.
That was exactly because you do colleges, they're like, you have to go to dinner with them as part of the gig, and they get like a stipend, and the best they could do was like the Applebee's on the left side of the menu.
Yeah. I was 26 years old, and I still felt ancient to them.
Yeah.
Like, I still felt like this, I'm too old to be here with them at Applebee's. And I was like 26.
They're like, we have a budget, but it's an Applebee's budget. That's it. That's all we're
exactly how they did it. Yeah, but like, you'd sit there and be
fairness
like,
was better than where I would have gone.
Yeah.
Sure.
I would have probably gone to like Carl's Jr. or something like that.
Well, I'd have just like been at some dive bar after the gig drinking, So.
Look at
so
Applebee's,
$1,000.
Hook it up, dog.
I like
Hook it
that.
up.
Let's
I want
get
a
it
decent-
done.
I want a
$1,000.
decent shift.
Yeah, no, we got
Wait,
you.
we can't. We got to get you the job.
Yeah, they'll say you're overqualified.
Well, no, $1,000 does not include me going to apply and get rejected, and then my self-esteem really goes down.
You got to
I can't
train.
even get hired in LA to
They,
be
would,
an
they,
Applebee's.
wouldn't,
bro.
they wouldn't hire you. They'd
got-
be like, you're
they
too over.
definitely
Yeah,
wouldn't hire.
No, you got to get
overqualified.
hired and you got to train, dude.
Yeah, for 1 week.
For a week.
I'm out then.
All right, where can people find you, brother?
Dude, I got my new comedy special on YouTube, Trying to Make It.
Nice.
It's on 800 Pound Gorilla's YouTube channel.
Nice.
And came out a few weeks ago.
Nice.
And so,
Congrats, man.
Please check
It's
it out.
awesome.
Very, very good. We'll
Trying
send
to
you the
make
link for that, or we'll post the link down here so you can check that out. But what are all your socials and everything else, too?
The real Mo Mandel on Instagram, and then Mo Mandel, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube.
Perfect. Yeah, easy to find. All under his name. Thanks for being here, brother. Go to jeffdye.com if you want to find where I'm going to be. And then
Josh Nelson Comedy.
we love you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.